All right, what's going on, everybody? So I got a comment recently on Instagram to talk about my journey with journaling. Journaling is an incredibly grounding, expressive, artistic, important practice. Here's a stack of my journals. I've been journaling pretty religiously since 2017, so it's been about 5 years now. Journaling is really, really beautiful, and I want to share a little bit about my process and my journey with you guys. A little bit about my philosophy on journaling, like what am I actually thinking about when I'm writing. I actually recently came across a video by Matthew McConaughey. His philosophy on journaling is really well said and really spot on in terms of how I think about journaling, so I'll play you a small clip here.
So sometimes we think that writing in a journal, we think of it as a very intimidating process. Like, oh, I've got to write now. I need to write something really good. No, you don't have to write anything good. It doesn't have to be good at all. You don't even have to write. You can doodle. You can draw. You can scribble. You can write. You can make stupid words rhyme. You can write lyrics. You can draw album covers. You can take a picture and paste it in there. You can draw a horrible picture of something that you remember. There are no rules.
I love how Matthew McConaughey phrased that. I think the key for me is to make journaling non-judgmental. For me, it's important to see my journal as a very sacred and secretive place that nobody is allowed to read if I don't explicitly allow them to. I tell this to the people in my life. I'm like, you cannot fucking read this journal or I will not fuck with you anymore, because it's extremely personal to me, and making it a secretive and sacred place actually allows me to write freely in there. And it's very important that I be able to write freely in there, because thoughts arise in my head that scare me, that are not me, that they're budding thoughts and fears and insecurities, and things come up, in your head that you can't really share with anyone yet because you don't understand them, and maybe you're scared of them yourself. And so I think the common thing to do when some intense thoughts are coming up is to often just try to shove them inside, not acknowledge them, etc. But the thing is, when you have a journal that's a 100% free, open, non-judgmental space to write and explore your thoughts, you get to actually explore these things and inquire about yourself. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I think it's a practice in being free and in acknowledging your own truths. So I also love what Matthew McConaughey said, and this is the exact same philosophy that I use when I journal, about there is no wrong way to do it. In fact, when I write on the page, I don't force anything at all. It doesn't have to be a journal entry. It doesn't have to be about the day I just had. It doesn't have to be deeply self-exploring. I don't have to learn anything about myself on that page on that day. Sometimes when I'm journaling, I'll slip into just planning out my day because I'm anxious about what I'm going to do that day, and that's fine. Sometimes I'll just write a to-do list, and that's fine. Like he said, sometimes I'll just doodle, and that's fine. There's so many little ways that we put pressure on ourselves, and you can really notice it when you're journaling. Like, these voices will pop up in your head, like, this entry is not artistic enough, or what's the point of writing right now? I don't have anything important to say, or a common one that used to pop up for me was like, oh, what if that person that I'm writing about ends up reading this, and then what are they going to think of me? Cultivating this idea that the journal is 100% free, open, non-judgmental, that's when you really get to start having fun with it. And that's another good way to see it too, is to see it as a playful place, a place to explore. Try to write something that is not you at all. Try to be someone else. Try to just let your hand write words without even really thinking about it. That's when you really start to have fun with it. And you do start to uncover things that exist in your mind that you may not have identified without the journaling practice. I wrote some things. I'm just going to read them. Your journal is a sacred place. Allow nobody to read it. Allow yourself to write without judgment. These words are not you. They are explorations. This is a place to process, to play, to write down the thoughts that you're even too scared to admit to yourself. Thinking about doing something immoral? Write about it. Angry at someone? Angry at yourself? Write about it. Confused, cloudy? Write about it. I wrote a letter to my ex-girlfriend when I was thinking about breaking up with her. She didn't read it. It was just for me to help me process my thoughts. I allow myself to explore budding thoughts and feelings that I do not yet understand. I wrote in my journal during my mushrooms trip. It's true. And I'm so, so happy I did, because now I have this documentation of such a profound experience. Sometimes I write poems. Sometimes I write stream of consciousness. Sometimes I just plan my day on paper because I'm anxious about it. Look out for you judging yourself. Sometimes I'll be writing and I'm like, oh no, this is bad. This isn't artistic enough. Or like, damn, like I'm writing about being addicted to my phone and being anxious about it for the thousandth time. But the thing is, like, so what? You know, it doesn't matter. Like, if you let go and just write whatever comes to you at that time when you have the page open, then you're creating an honest log of what your brain was going through at that time. For one, it just feels refreshing to finally, for once, not force yourself to do anything, but to just let yourself free and freely express. And two, when you fill up a journal and you write that last page and you close the book, suddenly you have this, like, what I consider to be a work of art, and it's a collection of your actual experience, and not necessarily like you wrote about your experiences, although maybe you did, but it's a log of what your mind was thinking about and what you were compelled to put on the page. And there is something inherently beautiful in that, and you'll feel it too once you finish your first journal, if you haven't already. You know, I try to practice Buddhism where I can, and I try not to be attached to anything, but like, I am very sentimentally attached to these journals. It's insane. Even if I look at a journal from 6 months ago, I was going through such different things than I am now. And it's really fascinating to see how fast and how dramatically my mindset has grown over time. And, you know, the journal is one of the only things I have to really document that. Like, as a video creator, yes, I can look through my past videos, but my videos are not as honest. The thing about the journal is, since it's a sacred place and nobody's going to read it, I was allowed to be 100% honest in that space. So when I look back on it, I'm really, really seeing this raw truth of how I was growing up and what I was going through. You know, I could look back on my videos, but my videos were all made knowing that I was going to be judged by the outside world and whoever sees them on the internet, you know? So I think it's just a human behavior that when other people see you, you just maybe ever so slightly change how you present yourself. But the journaling practice gives you the opportunity to just be completely raw. And that is such a good feeling. It feels like freedom. And if you practice journaling in that way, you're going to start to, I believe this has happened in my life, I've started to be able to act more freely and more in according with my truth in my actual life outside and my social life. And, you know, I've learned about myself through this process, and I've gotten a taste of what it's like to just let myself loose. And it's something that I'll never be able to let go. Now that I've had that taste, you know, it's like I'm gonna always be pursuing my honest truth in all walks of life. What else did I write? Watch out for the shackles that for whatever reason your mind wants to lock you in, and ignore them. This is freedom. Oh no, this topic is off limits. I can't write about this. When that thought pops in your head, think about how arbitrary that is. An example can be interpersonal relationships where you're like starting to think about maybe I need to end this relationship, but you're not quite ready to admit that out loud. And it's even, you know, if you're so in the routine of that relationship, it could be hard to even admit that to yourself. But when you open your journal, that's a free place. If that thought is arising in your head, you're allowed to write about it and write how you feel about it and explore it. And that's how you're going to find out what you really think, you know, and it's going to help you find a direction and take action. Your journaling leads to living a truer life. Be free, write your truth. If you can write your truth, you'll be a little bit closer to living it. Now let's get into the methods. If a blank page is too intimidating for you, I would recommend a journaling routine and some guided journaling. So my favorite guided journaling routine that I did, which I did for quite a long time. It was a nightly journaling routine, and it's a very grounding, reflective, and a really feel-good journaling routine. So it's just got 6 simple prompts. I would do this every night before bed, and it just made me feel so good. It made me like feel the weight and anxiety of my day lift up off my chest, and I was sleeping really well when I was doing this journaling regimen. So here are the prompts. 1, tomorrow's goal. So just write a little bit about what you want to accomplish tomorrow. It doesn't need to be too serious. It could be bullets, or you could write it out in sentences, or you could set an abstract intention. It's very important when journaling, like I said in my ramble at the beginning, that you're non-judgmental of yourself. Don't force yourself to write in any particular way. If bullet points are doing it for you that day, just let it happen, or if you can't get it across in bullet points and you want to write something abstract, or even draw something, just let it happen. That's how journaling is going to serve you. Number 2, today's achievement. And again, with guided journaling, I found that I would often be like, oh shit, I need to write every single achievement I did today, or else the journaling is not working. Deep breath. Just write what did you achieve today, my dude? And then let it go. This is one of my favorite sections. This prompt really helped me think about the things that I was really holding on to and things that I was anxious about. I appreciate having that prompt there because it helps me think about this anxious thing I'm holding on to, and writing it out on the page just helps you just let it go. Next prompt for this particular journaling routine is happy thought. This is kind of like a gratitude thing, something you enjoyed, something that makes you happy, any happy thought. I love how open-ended these prompts are because, I understand if you need like a really guided journaling thing, if the open-ended is just makes you indecisive, but I like this particular balance, happy thought. Like what's the thought that's making you happy right now? Write it down. And then positivity score. So this is just a number out of 10. If you do choose to go with the guided journaling route, I really encourage you as your last prompt to have a free space. This is where you can write anything else. You could call it free space. You could call it anything else. And this is where you're going to write anything else that's on your mind. This is where you're really going to unlock the benefits that I was mentioning early in the video. I really find that when you just have an open page, even though it can be intimidating, and you just let it rip, or you write about whatever you're being called to write about, that's where you really find the benefits, and you start expressing yourself, learning about yourself, you start flowing with your writing. This is where the beauty comes in journaling. The prompts can be great. Like I said, I was doing this regimen for a long time. Writing tomorrow's goal, today's achievement, really provides closure and also an expectation for your day tomorrow, so you can kind of sleep like a baby, just feeling on top of things. Even if you fell behind what you needed to do today, you still appreciate something that you achieved. You set a goal for tomorrow. It's a nice routine. I'm not doing this anymore. That brings me to what I am doing right now with my journaling, which is the morning pages. So I got this from The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. This is a phenomenal book that encourages everybody to explore the natural artist that they have within. And basically the morning pages are 3 stream of consciousness pages of journaling every single morning, first thing when you wake up. So I try my very best to write these morning pages before I hop on my phone and start working and start checking social media. I consider it to be my meditation during the morning. I'm actually not actively doing sit down breathing meditation. I'm just writing my morning pages. And when I write my morning pages, I really embody the philosophy of not forcing anything. Just like in the Matthew McConaughey clip, it's like, I just let it rip. And sometimes I'll end up writing about what I'm anxious about. Sometimes I'll end up writing about a serious existential crisis I'm going through. Sometimes I'll end up writing about the party I went to last night, or some synchronicity that happened yesterday. Like maybe I ran into an old friend. I'll write about what we talked about. Sometimes I will literally just plan my day because I'm feeling anxious about it. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, I kind of want to skate today, but also I'm thinking about going for a run. There's no rules with this. It's more about the act of writing itself, having that routine. And what's cool about it is when you have no rules, that's when your truth is going to eventually come out onto the page. And it's amazing. My favorite part about the morning pages is sometimes I'll slip into this artistic place where I'll write poems about my life in New York City, or sometimes I'll slip into this Jack Kerouac writing style where I'm just really stream of consciousness, letting it rip, like romanticizing my experiences as a young adult in New York City, writing about my friends, writing about crazy times, writing about my skate trips. I love it. And it's like, it's really been unlocking my creativity in this way. In an almost spiritual way. When you commit yourself to writing 3 pages every morning, you're kind of forced to face like what you want to do creatively, what you want out of life. Like I'll write often about my bigger goals and desires. I was writing a lot about wanting a bike, ended up buying a bike. It's kind of like a practice in manifestation. And for me, my morning pages are making me wonder if I'm more of a writer than a video creator. And it's giving me a really strong desire to write a book. That's just, without forcing it, the topic of writing a book is coming up again and again in my morning pages. And now I'm slowly like trying to explore, like, okay, should I write about this in my book? Like, should my book be kind of this Jack Kerouac autobiography style? Should I write like a self-help book? I'm telling y'all, you got to try the morning pages. And I'm going to actually pull a quote from The Artist's Way. The morning pages are 3 pages of longhand writing, strictly stream of consciousness. There is no wrong way to do morning pages. These daily morning meanderings are not meant to be art or even writing. Morning pages are meant to be simply the act of moving the hand across the page and writing down whatever comes to mind. Nothing is too petty, too silly, too stupid, or too weird to be included. So the philosophy of the morning pages really touches on like that key thing about journaling for me, and it's that this is a place to be utterly, completely free. There's nothing off limits. How exciting is that? Like, you could write about all that nasty, demonic shit you be thinking about, and nobody's gonna judge you, not even yourself. And the and the act of writing so freely, it really feels good and has countless benefits to your mental health, to your confidence, to you'll start manifesting shit. You'll start understanding what you like, what you want out of life. It's really fucking beautiful. And I can't recommend the morning pages enough, and journaling in general, to everyone watching this video. And let's see if I wrote anything else down. Oh yeah, I'll talk about a third method of journaling, which is just completely free and open journaling, where you have no routine. You just pull the journal out when you feel compelled to do so. I used to do the free journaling method, but what happened when I was free journaling with no routine is I would only journal in crisis. Like, I would journal when I was having relationship issues or anxiety issues or existential crisis issues, and I would try to work through those issues, which is great. And journaling really can help you work through all of those things. But what I find is sad about that is then you're not writing when you're in a really positive mood, and you're not writing when you're in a neutral mood. And it's like, some of my favorite times writing the morning pages are when I'm feeling grounded, aligned, appreciative, when I'm like really noticing like the beauty around me. And so for that reason, I'm more of a morning pages and a free open journal whenever I want kind of guy. I try to do my morning pages every single morning, no matter what mood I'm in. It's cool because then a different kind of writing will come out every morning, and you get to learn about yourself in all of your different moods and phases, and you get this well-rounded journaling and self-learning experience. And then, if you're in the middle of the day or at night and you need to wind down or process, or write about an experience, you can do that. Or if at some point after your morning pages you're going through some serious shit and you need to journal about it, you can do that too. So that's really what I recommend. Oh, and I also want to mention that just a fun thing that you could consider doing is scrapbooking. So here's just an example. Like, sometimes I like to like tape physical memories into my journal, because then it makes it this like really personal feeling thing. And if you do the scrapbooking, it feels even better when you finish that journal, because not only do you have words and writing and thoughts representing that time in your life, you also have these like physical memories too, and it can be very sentimental, and it's a nice thing to do. So I would tape like transit tickets in here. I have a guitar pick. Here's a bathroom cleaning schedule with me and my roommates in my old apartment. Just sentimental shit. Here's a little cutout from a birthday card somebody gifted to me. I know Danny likes to paste printed out photos in his journal. Here is a Band-Aid and a visitor badge. I don't know what that's from. Literally a Band-Aid. Not kidding. Seriously, no rules. Like, the scrapbooking eventually became too much for me, so now I just don't do it. And it's like, if I forced myself to continue scrapbooking, then journaling would not be in alignment for me anymore. So I don't force it at all. The morning pages are really working for me right now, but you need to follow whatever is going to make you journal. Like, don't force yourself beyond what you have the natural desire to do. Find what works for you. I used to write like my daily schedule in this journal, and I would, write when I needed to, do the schedule when I needed to, did a lot of content planning in my journal. At this point in time, I'm pretty much just doing the morning pages, sometimes doodling, and sometimes journaling at other times in the day. But yeah, I've gone through many, many phases, and I think it's cool to allow yourself to do that. Like I said, if you just let journaling flow and you're completely open and honest on the page, how cool to, build up a log of really honestly what you were going through. These are like these 3 journals right here I wrote in college, as you could see. Got the Wesleyan sticker. And like, how cool that I get to look about what I was really deeply thinking about in my college years. I've got some early thoughts about my career in here. I've got just random journal entries. I've got some navigating some crises, How fucking sick. If you journal, you are teaching yourself to be true, and you are creating a piece of art about your own life. Cool. I think that's everything. So if you guys want to help support me, if you enjoyed this, found it valuable, if you like my videos, you can buy this journal on Amazon using my link below. I'll get a small cut. This is by far the best journal. The brand is called Dingbats. I've been using it. All 3 of these are the same journal. I've got another one right there because I'm almost done with this one. This is a phenomenal journal. It just feels amazing. You can buy that using my link if you want to support me. I'll also link to The Artist's Way, which I read on a Kindle. You could buy that as well. I'm only monetizing right now based on Amazon affiliate links, which is sad. So yeah, but you watching this video helps too. Getting towards that 4,000 watch hours. I like the mic thing. I think the mic thing was cool, but I wonder if I planned this video too much and if it got in the way, but I'm just going to post it. Do you guys prefer them planned and concise, or do you prefer them to be open, honest, and rambly? Like just spitting out what's on my mind? Let me know in the comments. Was this a podcast? What else do I think about journaling? You got to do it. All right. Take care, guys.